Hello again, folks. Steve here again. And yes, you are looking at my left foot. Why would I show you my left foot? Well, I'm going to do a product review here. Talk a little bit about footwear. I'm going on another long walk this summer, and there is a lot that can be learned about feet and foot health when walking a lot. Even if just walking around in comfort and exercise, running and so on. And as you can see with my foot, the line is fairly straight from the side of my inside of my foot to my big toe. Then the top is rather flat but rather wide. That has caused a problem for me because most shoemakers seem to be oblivious to this. Take an extreme example of the Cowboy boot, which I have owned. Now, how does that remotely resemble my foot? But apparently, according to the shoe size, it's my foot. Well, what happens is my foot has to get scrunched into a very narrow V, and it's not very comfortable. Now, because I've had to walk long distances, 5,000 kilometers on my last walk, what I found does work somewhat is a hiking boot, an extra wide hiking boot. Merrell in particular, this is a Merrell brand, and I put 3,000 kilometers in total with training and walking on these. And that included a rebuild of the heel at a shoe store in Calgary. Excellent boot. I could have walked a lot farther on it, but because it was starting to get worn out, I exchanged them up. But a hard challenge to find the width. Now these did have enough width. You can see, right? So I went for Keen's the next time. Keen is also a fairly reputable boot. You can see it's got a fairly wide nose to it as compared to, say, once again, I like to use the extreme of the Cowboy boot. Compare that to the Cowboy boot. It's a lot more wide. The problem I had with this one is that I bought it a size too small. But as you can see, it's got the width there. These, I had to give them up I only put 800 kilometers on these and they were done because my feet were toast with them. Then I went for a very basic boot. Not this one, unfortunately. The one that I wore the longest, I wore them for more than 4,000 kilometers, 4,500 kilometers approximately. They look something like this. They're basically, this is another Merrell, by the way. It's a newer Merrell. But they were a low-cut version like this, extra wide. I called them my fat man shoes. And what they were is they weren't hiking shoes at all. They were just work shoes from Mark's Work Warehouse for use that a fat guy would wear. Extra wide, very comfortable, and I was able to put a lot of kilometers on them. The reason I don't have them anymore is because I threw them in a garbage can when they were completely falling apart in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, and I didn't want to pack them. I kind of regret now because it would have been a good souvenir, but I didn't want to pack them, so I threw them in the garbage. When I bought these monstrosities, the reason I bought these big things is because I was getting heavy rain, and these are basically rubber boots. They don't leak a drop. They are heavy, but I went through, in some cases, 14 hours a day of heavy monsoon rain, and they didn't leak a drop. They're amazing. They're heavy. Once again, though, you can see the width on the front. That's the thing about boots. A lot of times boots are built wide. I don't know if they're not meant to be sexy or what it is, but they're built wide. I'm going to go on another walk this summer, and I've really put a lot of research into shoes. And what I'm finding out is that a trail runner is probably the way to go. Now, this is not a trail runner. This is just a runner. This is what I use for regular exercise. This is a Saucony Echelon 5. Very good shoe. Lots of suspension on it. But look at it. Look at the nose on it. As compared to even the Merrell. You can see the difference. Well, I lay my foot on that when I look at it now because you see how tight it gets in here and in here. And that wasn't good enough for me. So I found something that's a trail runner. Look at that shoe as compared to that shoe. Now, isn't that, how did it take so long for people to figure out that some people have feet that look like ducks, duck feet? which is what I have. And these are built for it. These are called the Ultra Timps. And they're not much more than this, really, about the same, similar price. But I just wanted to show this because, I mean, some outfits are finally getting it right and building a shoe that carries on. You see this one here, it starts to curve in, but my foot doesn't curve in. My foot keeps going. This one keeps going straight all the way along. And then it curves, it goes wide. There's width there. This one doesn't. Like my big toe is supposed to be out here. This, with my flat foot across the top, see the toe is there, flat across, and then it curves right back. And then it tapers back down. Perfect shoe. So I'm going to try these out on long distance, and we'll see how it goes. But that's the evolution of footwear for me. I wanted to share because any little element that can help us in our daily basis, in our daily walking and our daily exercise, is a good idea. Now, interesting, actually, when I bought these, before I bought these, actually, I used to think, why doesn't somebody build a running shoe in the place of the old ugly Croc, the shape of the old ugly Croc? Look at the Croc. I wear these things around the house, doing painting and everything else. Look at this shape of it, right? It's there. It's shaped right for my foot. And compare it to this. Very similar, right? Straight up the side and across. So I wanted to show that anyway today. A little bit of a shoe review. Going to be walking the Appalachian Trail this summer, and hopefully we'll start out with these trail runners. Steve here again, great chatting. Talk again soon. Bye for now.